would be the first step that we have to consider for off-campus placements? Consider yourself in second or third year. What are the tips that you would give your younger
Sometimes my heart screams and want to tell them that please don't do these things in your resume.
What about hackathons and other competitions? What is their benefit or advantage in those hiring processes?
So, as a fresher, as a person who is in second or third year of college, if you're still having this question, then I would say that you are not having a very good tech community in this respect.
What would you
Yeah.
suggest to others if they are not good at communication as per the requirement? So, what can they do? One final piece of advice that you would like to give to us that you may have learned throughout your journey or that you kept in your mind throughout your journey. It can be anything.
I think one thing, if we are talking about one thing, would be
Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's grow together. So, in this video, we have Shubhangi Batra with us. She is currently working as software engineer at Microsoft and she has joined Microsoft in June 2025. So, Shubhangi, congratulations on your achievement.
thanks, Yash. Thank you so much.
So, tell us something about yourself so our audience would know about you as well.
So, as Yash told, my name is Shubhangi Batra. I recently joined Microsoft in June 2025. Like most of you all, straight came out of a Dietary college, cracked Microsoft off campus, and yeah, I come from Banastali Vidyapeeth, which is a women's university in Rajasthan, and that's it. Thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. So, since you mentioned that you have come from tier 3 college, right? So, already
Yeah.
there is issue in on campus placement in tier 3 colleges and cracking Mang or Fang based company, or we can say Mango based company right now is really difficult for the people who don't have any idea about it, right? So,
True.
can you just tell us uh, what would be the first step that we have to consider for off campus placements?
I think anybody will tell you this. The first step for off campus would be a good resume, because a resume is a reflection of yourself when you apply anywhere. They don't know you, they don't know you as a person, but that sheet of paper reflects should reflect your personality as a whole, your career achievements, and your academics and everything in the best possible way.
Right. So just consider that, consider yourself in second or third year. What are the tips that you would give your younger self if he or she has to make the resume? Right. What are the things
Okay.
that they should consider?
Yeah. So since I get a lot of referral requests on LinkedIn, uh, I can answer this question very well, because sometimes my heart screams and want to tell them that please don't do these things in your resume. First is, please don't use fancy templates. Most of the people out there, they try to just to outstand, or you know what, they use fancy templates, fancy fonts, which are not at all professional. So please don't use that. And add a lot of links to your resume, make them clickable, add valuable information, do great projects. Please don't do basic projects. Do something that makes you stand out from the crowd. And yeah, that's it. And please stick to one page a resume. Some people out there, their resume extends to 2.5 pages. That is not at all cool. When just imagine yourself as an HR of a company, where you have thousands of resumes every day, applying applications. and you wouldn't go through 2.5 pages of your career, right? And
Correct, correct.
one again more important thing is, since when you're applying in companies like Microsoft and Google, it's very important to make your resume ATS friendly, because there are lakhs and lakhs of applications, and you cannot go through each of resume manually, so they need to add some filtering there. So yes, concentrate on the ATS score first, and make it look presentable. Just think of you at their place and judge yourself. You will get the answer.
Yep. Now, I had one more question regarding projects. So, suppose there are two applications, okay? One
Mhm.
application has a project which you can rate 8 out of 10, and one is suppose 9 out of 10. But the project which you would rate 8 out of 10 is deployed, and you have a working link in your resume itself. And the
Mhm.
better project does not have a working link in the resume.
Mhm.
Which one would you prefer in your personal choice?
One go answer would that to that would be the deployed one, because always when you see something in front of your eyes, yes, the I would say the format is that you just write whatever you want, but if you have the evidence and proof to it, as I said, please put links to your please add as many links as possible to your resume, so that you can show the actual work, and uh, that gives you more weightage than what you have written.
Correct, correct. Now, I think the resume part is crystal clear to all of us. So, the next thing that I'd like to ask you is about where do you get the opportunities? Like, where are the openings available? Apart from LinkedIn, there must be a lot of sources as well for job openings, as we can consider. So, what according to you, you would suggest where we can find the opportunities?
So, as a fresher, as a person who is in second or third year of college, if you're still having this question, then I would say that you are not having a very good tech community amongst yourself. We are in a world where we have LinkedIn, we have WhatsApp communities, we have Telegram group channels, and there are lots and lots of people who are doing it, where they collect all the opportunities, they day wise post it. And not only one, there are many. I have been a part of such communities. One of it is Codes Cafe, which is specifically for women, and it is a great community. I've been a mentor there as well. I've mentored around 10 to 12 juniors of our. So my primary source was from Telegram communities, WhatsApp communities, and LinkedIn, obviously, because most of the communities may miss some of startup openings, right? But if you're active on LinkedIn, you're continuously scrolling on LinkedIn, you would know, you would gather more information about the companies out there who are hiring. You can directly reach out to their HRs or the founders. Sometimes that works very well. Cold emailing works very well. Yeah.
Okay, so now suppose a lot of students may reach out to you for referrals, right?
Yeah.
So, what are your priorities in terms of referring them? What do you consider?
First is resume again, because a good resume catch holds of eyes, because most of the referrals I filter out on the basis of bad resumes where they use bad templates, or I would say low effort resumes where you haven't worked well on your resume. Then the second it comes the details of the resume, what projects you have done, what experience do you have, and thirdly your rankings on all the technical platforms like CodeChef, LeetCode. Yeah, that is my personal a way to filter out things.
Awesome, awesome. And what priority is given to co-curricular competitions as well? Like, of course, competitive programming gets priority in terms of off-campus hiring, right? But what about hackathons and other competitions? What is their benefit or advantage in those hiring processes?
Yeah, so as I said, build a tech community out of yourself. get in touch with people who are actively doing these things, because your environment influences you a lot. If you are surrounded in a room of people around sorry if you are surrounded by a group of people where everybody is doing something or the other to work towards their aspirations, you will feel that too. But if you are surrounded by your friends who are not motivated enough to do the things you should, then it automatically may de-influence you subconsciously, right? So building a tech community is very very important, where uh, it's like when I talk to my friends, they are doing something, they are taking part in some hackathons, then I get to know about ki, oh yeah, hackathon bhi ho raha hai, I will also participate in the things. So as a communication say bhi, you get to know about a lot of opportunities. So coming to the hackathon part, I feel hackathons, like people who are struggling to add good projects in their resume, hackathons are the best way. Because even if you want to do it alone yourself, it takes a lot of time and effort. But when you are a part of hackathon, you are with a group of people. First is you think of the best of ideas, right? Because it's in hackathon. And then for example, it's a 24-hour hackathon or it's a 48-hour hackathon, you would never do that amount of work in those 48 hours. It would alone take you around a month or two, because you procrastinate and everything, right? When you are in a live hackathon, you give your 100% focus on that, and I think that is the best way to bring the best projects out of yourself. And that actually added weight to my resume as well, the hackathon projects I have done with me and my friends. And that also helps you, bond with your friends. It gives you a good community around yourself. Yeah.
Very true,
Overall, it's
very
a very great experience. Hackathons, apart from what it benefits you in your resume and your career, apart from that, it is, I think, an experience. It doesn't matter if you win or not. You have something, you worked on it, you can add it in your resume, and you will have details of it from scratch. So it's not like you may copy something and you don't know things. If you're working in a group and you're sitting all together, you know what is going on. And that actually adds weightage, because when the interviewer asks you question related to that project, you can answer every tiny details of it, because you have actually worked it on from scratch.
correct, correct. Now we have covered up everything related to resume and the things that are involved in resume, right? Like projects, hackathons, and everything. The next thing that I'd like to ask you is about online assessment. What are the tips and advices that you would give to all of us to make sure that we have highest probability in cracking online assessments?
Okay. I think most of the things that people must be knowing are correct about online assessments. Obviously, you have proctoring and everything, so be aware of that. And secondly, uh, it's like if in a university there are 50 students, and they give you three questions in the online assessment. Mostly 10 to 20 of the people may solve all the three questions, right? But how would you get prioritized? First is time. The one who takes less time will be scored more points. It is weighted that ways. So try to be quick. And by how will you get quick? Practice and start giving contests online. That would really help you in online assessment. I think every Friday, every Wednesday, you have some contests on CodeShare, Fleet Code. So have a dedicated time for contests. That really helps you in online assessments. It fastens your thinking process.
Correct, correct. Now, after online assessments, the most important part that arrives is interview. It can be technical interview, it can be HR interview, right? So, what advices would you give in terms of performing in the interviews, be it technical or HR interview, that can help you to actually maximize the probability of getting selected?
Okay. So, first is just synchronize your thought process. Sit in a room whenever you're practicing questions out there. Think that you have an interviewer in front of you and you need to explain from the start what you're thinking, from the brute force to the optimized and then to the most optimized, right? So, the more synchronized thoughts you will have, the more you'll be able to speak it in a synchronized way, and that would make more sense to the interview that this person has a very crisp thinking, and that is actually what they want. If you are going in the right direction, it is okay if sometimes you're not able to make it. They will give you hints. Try to catch those hints, right? If you if interviews is telling you something, even the slightest of thing, it is very important of you to catch that hint and understand that there is something wrong with your thought process and you need to correct that and try to fit that hint into your thought process. Yeah.
Great. Now, tell us about the importance of DSA development and other tools and concepts as well. How much they matter in terms of online assessment as well as interview. Like, how much DSA should particular student know? How much development should he know? How much other tools like version control tools, GitHub, and DevOps related tools? How much prior knowledge is required in terms of interviews in off-campus hiring specifically?
Okay. Coming to DSA, there is no how much, because DSA is something even I cannot say that I have done it till 100%, because the 100%, I don't know if there is a 100% or not. You need to keep practicing, try to become best of yourself, and it is something, it has a very large scope. Then something that I would point out in since we are talking about this is system design, which is catching hold importance a lot these days. Specifically, if I talk about Microsoft, I've heard from my juniors, even when I interviewed for internship, system design is being asked on internship level as well. So people try to deprioritize it over DSA, but I would say please prioritize system design as well. Yeah, and core fundamentals, I think that is something you should have it on your tips, because we do it in our classes, college. We have that in our college curriculum, right? So I don't
Correct.
think you need to spend like my personal preference was when I have some important subjects in my curriculum, I would try to complete that in the class itself. I would try to uh, grasp as much as knowledge I can in the class, because I'm already spending some time there, and if I do so, half of my work is done.
Correct. Correct.
We can talk about how you can leverage AI, because since it is an emerging trend in the industry, right?
Hmm.
And we must accept that the bars have raised from what it was 10 years before or 7 years before. So, as our preparation should. So, I would suggest everyone out there to leverage AI as much as possible and try to do some courses that help, that stands something in your resume about that how this person has something in AI email as well. That would add
Correct.
some advantage. Yeah.
So now the next thing I would like to ask you is your Microsoft hiring experience as well as working experience. How did you prepare for it? For it in short, how was the hiring process, and how is the work culture there?
Okay. So I think I would start with Microsoft as a company. I am until now it's a great experience. Um since this is my first company, although I haven't seen what other companies feel like, but I've heard it from my friends and I know what it is like. I am completely satisfied right now. The work culture is quite good here. And coming to the preparation part, so when I was let's start with something I would focus on more. When you are in your first year or second year, you may reach out to your seniors asking how to prepare for placements, how to do DSA, and how you basically ask for a roadmap. And I have seen that happening around me as well, that if you're in first year, your senior might say कि अभी तो टाइम है, अभी chill करो, first and second year is chill, third year में सोचना. I you can follow that, it's completely your choice, but I think in first and second year we have a lot of time apart from our curriculum. So uh, it's like if we have to do some X amount of work, why not do it in small subsections so that you have that in your routine. So, for example, DSA or development, if you're something from the even someone watching from the first year, right? You can start development, start with HTML, start with CSS. What's the harm? You can enjoy as well, right? So that is something I wanted to like convey to the audience. So, yes, DSA development, everything is important. And if we talk about roadmap, there is no such roadmap like how to crack this so and so company. There's never a roadmap to it. You need to figure out what works best for you. For me, maybe if I do 2 hours of DSA, 1 hour of development, that works and fits well in my routine. But it might not be for you. You need to figure out what works best for your routine. What are your current needs? Maybe you are very good at DSA and you want to spend a less amount of time on DSA and you want to focus more on development. So the only thing I want to convey is DSA, development, system design, everything is important. You know that you have to reach at a certain level, but you have to figure that roadmap of yourself. Nobody can give you that कि हाँ ये कर लो ये कर लो ये कर लो and you'll be done. You need to figure that out. And one more thing that I planned for this is uh, people, some of my juniors, they talk about paid internships and paid courses. I think at your level it is really not needed, because people might call you and ask you कि हाँ, like when you're in your second year थोड़ा desperation आ जाता है ना for internship, because you see your friends getting good internships and you see that you haven't cracked it yet. So and at that moment अगर आपको कोई call आए और बोले कि हाँ I am giving you this internship and you need to pay this, you might fall in that trap. But uh, the reality is they don't add weightage, and that is really not needed. You can easily get a paid internship if you want. You need to be proactive on your LinkedIn and everything. I think it's all about consistency, how consistent you are in your efforts. Before Microsoft, even I was rejected into 20 plus companies. And the efforts, I think I sent 100 plus emails every day. I had a template where I used to just replace the naming and the company names and some specification what they want in their role. I used to reach out to HRs, do cold emailing, try to reach out to founders on LinkedIn as well. So just do whatever you can do and then just leave it to God. But please don't fall into those paid internships wallet traps.
Correct, correct. Like I was not thinking of asking this particular question, but I think I should ask this. There's one thing that I have observed throughout the interview. You speak very calmly and you have awesome communication skills. So that is also a differentiator in a lot of cases, right? Communication skills matter.
Yes.
So what would you
Yes.
suggest to others if they are not good at communication as per the requirement? So what can they do in that case?
First thing, if you feel that you are less confident of how you're speaking, every day stand in the front of mirror, ask yourself a question as an interviewer and answer that. Look in the mirror, answer confidently. And there will be, if you do this every day, there will be a time you will be very comfortable about how you speak, what words you use. And then that won't be a burden to yourself that I need to communicate very clearly or I need to be good in the communication part. That would automatically be something that is already in your personality. And also, I would like to add, when I say that build a tech community in your college, try to I know this may or may not add a lot of weightage to your resume, but it actually helps when you communicate in interviews or communicate in HR rounds. There is where it matters the most. So when you go in college and you go and speak in front of a room of people. For example, if you are on a hackathon, you need to present your hackathon in the last day, right? So take the lead. Ki, I will speak. I will start the introduction. Do things like that. Don't shy away, because that is the most experimental phase, I would say, where you can do those things. Even if you fail, it won't matter much. It would help you in the long run to improve. Come, don't feel shy. Just do it.
Yeah, very true, very true. Now, Shubhangi, one final piece of advice that you would like to give to us that you may have learned throughout your journey or that you kept in your mind throughout your journey. It can be anything.
I think one thing, if we are talking about one thing, would be consistency. Consistency is the key. If even if you are solving 2 questions a day or 5 questions a day, be consistent. Be true to yourself. If you have a limit that, I have a timetable, I'm doing it now this on Monday, it now on Tuesday, be consistent to your routine. Don't procrastinate. Don't add excuses to yourself कि हाँ आज ये हो गया, आज ये हो गया, आज रहने देते हैं. Don't do that. Be consistent. That consistency will help you in the long run. Yeah.
So, I'd like to say that it was awesome interacting with you. The
Thank
interview
you.
was as smooth as butter, and I can tell you that there were a lot of insights and things that even I didn't know, and it taught me a lot of things as well. So, thank you for connecting. Hope we would connect in future as well.
Would love to. Thank you so much, Yash. It was been
Thank you.
great communicating with you, talking with you on reality, real stuff. I hope this helps all the people in the audience out there. Um, Even if people want to reach out to me for anything personal or specific, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I would be very happy to help them.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.